What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Palm City Chucks. You may notice if you watch the videos, the background for me is not the same as it normally it is. I am not in my room. I am, in fact, in a hotel room in San Diego, California this week for work.
He's in a
We're
cuck
still,
chair.
yes, it is. And we are still recording. Don't you worry about that. Um, but this week, we're going to get started talking about college football a little bit again. Week zero's coming up soon, and we're excited to talk about it again. On the agenda for you, we're going to run through the SEC and Big Ten predictions. You know, Chris being an LSU fan, me being a Penn State fan, those clearly the two biggest conferences in college football right now, the powerhouses. Sorry, ACC, Big Ten, and SEC still rules. We're going to run through our predictions for those. We're going to give you some predictions for the Heisman and the Bednarik Award. Bednarik Award being the best defensive player in college football. And then we're going to run through the playoff predictions and select a winner for the college football playoffs for the 25-26 season. It is super exciting. We're very ready to go. So, Chris, I will hand it off to you. What do you got for the SEC, sir?
Okay. So for the SEC, I'm going to start at the bottom here. So coming in last in the SEC, I have Kentucky falling here. Um, Coming at 15, I have Vanderbilt, which, very well could be 16, but after last year and how they had so many good moments, I didn't want to do it to them. So have them squeaking by Kentucky. 14, I have Mississippi State. 13, I have Oklahoma. Then coming in at 12 is where I have Auburn. 11, I have Arkansas. 10, I have Missouri. 9, I got Florida. And then at 8, I have South Carolina. 7, I have Texas A&M. 6, I have Tennessee. 5, I have Alabama. 4, I have Ole Miss. 3, I have LSU. 2, I have Georgia. 1, I have Texas.
All right. All right, on a quick first pass, not a ton to complain about from my end, but let me give you my list first, and we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Um, Rounding out the bottom for me in the SEC, this is where I've got Mississippi State. Just not up to par with a lot of the rest of the SEC schools, and they've got a top 10 toughest schedule predicted in college football next year, so I think it could be a real rough go for them. 15 is also where I have Vandy. A lot of the same reasons they could have been the bottom. Not really a football
Yeah.
school, but they had a lot of good moments. Beating
Yeah.
Alabama, being one of them. So, I'll
Yeah.
bump them up one spot just for that game alone. 14, that's where I got Arkansas. This could change depending on what Taylor Green can do, and what can the line do for him specifically, but we'll see. Uh, 13 is where I've got Florida coming in. They have the toughest schedule in college football all
I
of
like
next
that.
year. So I think they're going to struggle. 12 is where I've got Kentucky. I think the run game will carry them enough to not be quite at the bottom. 11, it's where I got Missouri. Got lots of offensive turnover. Could be a rough year for them. 10 is where I've got Oklahoma. I think there will be some marked improvements from them. Not enough to really break into the top half, but I think they'll be better. They picked up Jaden Ott, a running back transfer, I believe, out of Cal, so that could be big for them. 9 is where I've got Auburn coming in. 8 is South Carolina. This one is interesting. Lenore Sellers could be a surprise candidate for a breakout quarterback. He's a dual threat guy, but I've got them at 8 for now. 7's where I've got Texas A&M. 6 is where I've got Ole Miss. 5, Tennessee. I mean, they lost a lot. Nico Leva, I don't know how to pronounce his
Yeah.
name, I'll be honest.
That's a huge
Leaving, that
loss.
hurts. Losing Dylan Sampson, that really hurts. But their
Yeah.
defense is still great. And that's the mark of a great SEC team. So I think they'll come in there at 5. 4 is where I've got LSU coming in. Um, they're losing a lot of what was a very superb offensive line, but bringing back Nussmeier and the experience there will be big. So I've got them at
Yeah.
4. 3 is where I've got Alabama coming in. I mean, they've got quarterback questions, of course, after Jalen Milroe leaves,
Mhm.
but their defense is going to be great. So I've got them pulling out the 3 spot. 2 is where I've got Georgia. They're Georgia. And 1
Yeah, right.
is where I've got Texas. Yeah, great team. Arch Manning coming in. Quarterback play should be improved from Quinn Ewers to Arch. So I think they'll come out on top of the SEC again, at least in the regular season.
Nice. Yeah, not too shabby.
Yeah, there's
Um,
not a ton to complain about.
yeah, yeah, pretty similar. One thing I want to talk about is Arkansas. Why so low? I feel like they're just always a scrappy team. They get some good wins every year. And yeah, I mean, they never are front runners of the SEC, but I feel like bottom of the barrel is a little low
It's
for
not.
them.
I mean, they're at 14. I really worry about their line this year. You know, in an SEC, like I mentioned, defense heavy team. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure that
Yeah.
Taylor Green's going to be able to do too much. I think Florida's a better team than them for sure. Like I said, they've got a really, really tough schedule, but still, I think they'll finish ahead of Arkansas. And
Okay.
like it's like the big thing is, when it comes to college football conference rankings, it's weird, right? Because there's overall record, but conference records what really matters. And I'm not sure in the conference to conference games that Arkansas is really going to stand up to a lot of these
Yeah,
guys above them. So I think that's
that's
the real
fair.
big reason there. I'm definitely a little higher on Kentucky than you are. I
Yeah.
think I think their run
I mean,
game.
they are so hit or miss for me because some years like they honestly have a good team.
Hmm.
Like, and typically, like growing up as a kid, they were always towards the bottom in football, obviously. Basketball, they're a powerhouse. But yeah,
Yes.
football, I've seen them struggle year after year. But over the last few years, it seems like they flip flop around. So I don't really know what to expect there. But like I said, didn't want to do it to Vandy. Somebody had to go there. I do think Mississippi State is going to improve a little bit. It's pretty weird for them to be like a bottom SEC school, and you're right for putting them there because that's exactly what they've been the last few years. But I feel like they're gonna get on the right path a little bit. And on that note, it seems you have Auburn doing that too, a team that's typically pretty good and has struggled the last few years, but kind of have them
Yep.
going in the right direction. Looks like you have them at 9, so
Yep. Still bottom half, but slight
yeah,
improvements maybe. You
yeah.
know. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. And a lot of
But
it
yeah, I don't
too is
really.
like when ranking these, like you look at like recruitment, like what they kind of did in this off season, and the other thing is like how much is a freshman going to contribute at an SEC school? So then you got to look at transfer portal. Like there's so much to look at, and so many new bodies moving around to these teams. It's not like it used to be. So there's a lot of meshing, a lot of chemistry that needs to be built for these teams. Um, that's why I really like some of your picks too, like having Bama up at 3. You're right. I mean, major questions at quarterback there, but they've retained so much of that defense that was stellar last year. So, yeah, good shout there. But yeah, that's kind of how I went personally about this. A lot of the teams towards the top retained a lot of talent, and
Hmm.
some have brought in good talent as well in recruiting and transfer portal, but really are your key pieces there from last year.
Yep. College football's finicky like that, man. I think it's harder to predict than the NFL, in my
Oh, a
opinion.
hundred percent. And just so many
So
more teams and everything else. I mean, a million things could happen.
And like we said last year, many, many times on the pod, that they are simply kids, 18 to 22-year-old majority
Right.
kids. They
Yeah.
can get rattled. They're not true professionals yet. So even
Yes.
the
They
top
will get rattled.
teams, yeah, like they just can struggle at any given Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, let's. I don't really have any other notes. You honestly hit on all of them. That was pretty similar. Not a ton different there.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
let's move on to the Big Ten. I'll lead this one off with Penn State
Yeah.
being
I was
my
gonna
school.
say, come on.
Um,
Let's hear it.
Bottom to the top here, coming in last, I got Purdue. Uh, Not a football school. I don't expect them to win many, if any, of their Big Ten games this year. 17 Northwestern, another team very similar to Purdue. 16, Maryland. Haven't been impressed by them in such a long time. 15, Michigan State, which I just want to say it's honestly almost sad to see their fall off and consistently be in the very bottom of the Big Ten these days when they used to be one
Sucks.
of the teams that really, you know, fought for Big Ten titles. Maybe not seriously, but like up towards the top. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
14 is where I've got UCLA coming in. 13, Rutgers. 12, Washington. 11, Minnesota. 10, Wisconsin. Honestly, I hope they finish even worse than this. I've come to really dislike them
I
living in
wonder why.
Wisconsin. You know,
Yeah.
it's most people might have the opposite reaction, but I'm a true East Coaster where it's like having all those fans around me makes them despise them even more, especially
Oh,
when
for
they're just
sure.
so delusional. Um, and they want to keep believing
Well,
in
if
Luke Fickle, but he just certainly isn't it. There's really
yeah, I
no
was gonna
other.
if they're talking
Yeah,
about football, that is
yeah,
delusional.
bro. If they're talking about anything except for women's ice hockey, that's what they've got. Like that's it. I'm serious. I'm serious. Um, Sometimes they're good in basketball, but they never
Right.
actually make any noise. So there's
Not
that.
since
Uh,
Frank Kaminsky.
yeah. 9, that's where I got Nebraska coming in. 8, USC. 7, Iowa. 6, Illinois. 5, Indiana, which I honestly went back and forth between anywhere between 5 and 8 for Indiana, but they had such a good year last year that
It
I
did.
couldn't bring myself to put them any lower than 5. So I've got them at 5. 4, Michigan. I expect them to be much improved from last year. So I've got them coming in at 4 behind the 3 real main powerhouses of the Big Ten right now, which 3, that's where I've got Oregon finishing. Just a lot of turnover on that team, but they're still such a big name Oregon that is, as you mentioned, transfer portal, new guys coming in. They're still going to be such a high-powered offense at the very least. I'm
Yeah.
curious to see what their defense can do. I'm not quite sure. The big thing with all of these teams that came from the Pac-12 is are their defenses up to snuff to the Big Ten
Right.
level quite yet? And I
For
don't
real.
think
I
that
couldn't agree
Oregon's
more.
is. I don't think that Oregon's is, but their offense certainly is good, if not better than a lot of the Big Ten teams. Um, so I think that'll balance out, and they'll finish 3. 2. I've got Ohio State finishing here, which I'm telling
Ooh.
you, I thought about this for such a long time because I really don't want to come across as a homer. I really don't. But I think this is, I mean, even last year, go watch the pods, college. I was hard on Penn State. I really never predicted them
Yep.
to really win anything. Honestly, I said Ohio
Yeah.
State is the team to beat till we see it. But I think this year, just questions at quarterback for Ohio State. Yes, they have Jeremiah Smith, who is the best wide receiver in college football. Sure, already, probably. But I think Penn State then comes in at number 1. I expect Drew Aller, and it's really a prove it year for him. He's still probably going to go in the first round of the NFL draft next year. But if he wants to be a
Yeah.
top of the first round draft pick next year, he's got to go win some big games. And I think
Yeah.
that November 1st, when Ohio State and Penn State play this year, I think Drew's going to take that game. I really do. I really do.
He's
So
got it
I've got
marked on
Penn
the
State coming
calendar
in at 1.
already.
Yeah, I know it. Don't you worry. Yeah.
The other big thing with them too is they've retained so much talent beyond him too. I mean, you got both running backs
Uh-huh.
coming back. I mean, this team's going to be good. Are they going to get over the hump? I don't know, but yeah, they're gonna be good for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, we didn't talk about this in the SEC because your school wasn't involved in either of our predictions, like top 2 going to play for the SEC championship game. But like in this scenario, Penn State and Ohio State would then go play in the championship game. And I'm not
Yeah.
necessarily saying that Penn State would go win that right now. I would need to see a
Yeah.
little bit of
Let's
this
start with the
season
regular
first to
season
say,
matchup.
yeah, exactly. Like I'd still, I think sitting here right now, say Penn State would lose that game. That might change
Yeah.
as I see them throughout the year. But I think regular season, I think this is the year that Penn State wins the Big Ten in the regular season. You mentioned it. I didn't quite get to it, but you mentioned it. I mean, we're returning both Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, so much of the defense, so much of the offense, not a ton of turnover, and those guys are growing together. And that's not something that Ohio State can say. It's not.
Right.
So I
Does
think
Penn
we
State
got to
have a damn receiver though?
no. Still no.
Still no.
Um, which I mean, it's sad. I've talked about it last year too, but I don't know why we can't recruit wide receivers. It's just a position of void for us always,
Yeah.
always. So solve that problem, and I think we're consistently, genuinely fighting for something like, first place in the Big Ten. But I think this year the big thing is I think Drew Aller turns a little bit more into the quarterback that we've expected the last 2 years, which he's shown in games against not great teams, but then he's definitely faltered in our bigger games. There's no denying that, and he's for this to happen, he's got to take that step in the big games. And
Yeah.
if not, I'll be totally wrong. And Ohio State will probably win this again.
We ready for my picks?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. So at 18, I also have Purdue falling here. I mean, I don't really need to justify that one. 17, I have Maryland coming in here. 16, this is where I have Rutgers. 15, I have Northwestern. 14, this is where I have Wisconsin. 13, this is where I have UCLA. And then 12, I have Michigan State. 11, I have Minnesota. 10, I have Washington. 9, I was able to do it to them. Indiana. Coming in at 8, I have Iowa here. 7 is Nebraska. 6 is USC. 5, Illinois. 4, Michigan. 3, Oregon. 2, Penn State. 1, Ohio State.
I respect it. I really do. I do respect it. And I can't say for certain, because it's just not the position that I'm in, that if I was not a Penn State alumni, I wouldn't have had Ohio State first. But I really tried to
Yeah.
take that out when I made that decision.
Oh,
So I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah. Let me set your mind at ease because I do not think you're homering. That is a totally fair take to have them at 1. Ohio State lost a lot of talent, but that's the thing with schools like Ohio State. This happens every year. They're a farm. They literally just farm talent. They're going to be good. But yeah, with what Penn State is bringing back, they could totally finally reach the tip of the iceberg. But yeah, can't wait to find out. We're getting
I
so
know, right?
close.
I'm so excited to see it, man. I'm ready for football to
Yeah.
be back. We've got what, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. It's I mean, we have Hall of Fame game this week. We'll
It's
probably get
true.
the episode out.
Lions.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. But yeah, about these picks here, I wanted to ask you about Washington. Do you think they turn the corner in the Big Ten, or are they like just destined for failure since the conference switch?
I think as of right now, they're destined for failure with the conference switch. It's kind of similar to. So I made the points about Oregon, how I think their offense was good enough to withstand their defensive shortcomings for a Pac-12 team.
Yes.
I think Washington may have been able to say that when they had Michael Penix, Jalen Polk, and Rome Odunze, they don't have them
Right.
anymore, and the guys that have come in to replace are not on that level in college football. And
Yeah,
Washington
I agree.
certainly
Also, losing
does
their
not
coach was
have.
huge too.
Very true. And Washington
Yeah.
certainly does not have a Big Ten level defense by any
Yeah.
means. And that is the signature of honestly both the SEC and the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Typically, the SEC has a little bit better offenses, but Big Ten is just getting, their important results lately. So just going to throw
Yeah.
that out there. Um,
Well said. And that's one of the things I love about college football is how you have an identity when you're a part of a conference, which now with all these switches, it's kind of making things a little squirrely. But yeah, I mean, there's an identity in the Big Ten, and that is great defense, good O line, you run the ball well. And yeah, Pac 12, like you said, high flying offense, putting up tutties, putting up a
mhm.
lot of scoring. And like you said, Oregon does it so well that it does balance out their shortcomings, which is on the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, we're seeing that with the other teams, USC, Washington, UCLA. They're not really enough just yet. I think UCLA or USC isn't so far off. I mean, they're getting closer. So you could see they're kind of climbing in the Big Ten. You
It's
got them
true.
at 8. I have them at 6. They're making their way. They had some good wins last year. They're definitely getting a little comfortable in the Big Ten, and I think this year, and as time just goes on, these teams are going to get more comfortable and adapt to the being in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Two things I want to say about yours is one, I love how far down you have Wisconsin. That's awesome. I could totally see
Yeah.
it. Their offense is garbage. It is
Yeah.
terrible. Absolutely garbage.
Yep.
And the second thing is I'd like that you've got Nebraska up a few spots higher than mine. That was the team I struggled with quite a bit
Yep.
placing here in the rankings. I wouldn't be surprised if they're this year's Indiana and really
Yeah.
go on
I
a
could
run,
see
right?
that for
It looks
Illinois as
yeah.
well,
That
which
that's
Illinois
fair.
was decent in their own right this
They
year.
were.
But yeah, those two teams I definitely was struggling to place. If I pan down on my notepad, you're gonna see a lot of scratches. But yeah, and unfortunately, we both agree that Michigan's going to be back. And
They are.
um yeah. Not necessarily, which we'll get to the playoffs, not necessarily deep playoff run back, but they're going to be competitive in the Big Ten again. Um, which this year, not so, or this past year, they really weren't. I mean, had that Ohio
Yeah.
State win, but that's something else. That's beyond football.
That was something crazy. I don't there's no way to explain that. It's basically in terms of last year, that was pretty close to Vandy over Alabama, to be honest. Michigan was that bad of a football
Yeah.
team.
Yep.
Um and I certainly don't see that 2 years in a row for a school like
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah.
So,
And another year
yeah.
removed from Harbaugh, like they're going to get more comfortable in the new
Mm.
system and everything.
Another year
Coaching
removed
changes
from
really hurt in college.
they do, and another year
Yeah.
removed from the scandal. Like no matter what came
Yep.
out of it, that's got to, as we said, they're kids. Like just the noise in the media about that had to affect them. It really had
Oh,
to.
yeah.
Whether it's true or not, how much of it made a difference at this point, who cares? But did it have an effect on that team last year? Damn sure it did, and I bet
Oh,
this
yeah.
year, another year removed, it starts to really fade away.
Totally. Yep. Couldn't
Yeah,
agree more.
but so that's our conference predictions for the SEC and Big Ten. Let's move on to some award predictions, and I feel like we should start with the Bednarik Award, and we'll leave the Heisman, the big one,
Yeah. The
for
big
last
boy.
here. Um, so I'll go ahead and get started actually with these and the Bednarik
Okay.
Award, and as much as it hurts me to say, um, I've got an Ohio State player winning this, unfortunately.
Oh.
Um, but we'll start with my number three. Oh, I did top three here.
Yep.
Finalists for the Bednarik. Number three for me, Anthony Hill, linebacker out of Texas. Guy put up like 113 tackles, 8 sacks
Yeah.
last year. That's
Yeah.
crazy for a college football schedule, and
Yep.
playing in the SEC as well against a bunch of great teams. So he could really make a run here. I expect him to be excellent again. Maybe even up the sack numbers, as he's a guy who might play slightly. Maybe he gets to play a little bit more on the edge as well.
Yeah. I mean,
We'll
plays
see. We'll see.
everywhere. He's a
Yeah.
weapon.
Yeah. Number two, I got TJ Parker out of Clemson, defensive end. Had 11 sacks last year in an ACC that's typically got a little bit weaker teams. All these college awards based on names and numbers, popularity. It's a little bit unfortunate, but true. In the ACC, you up 11 sacks to like 15, 16. You're going to make some
Oh, yeah.
noise and you're going to get some recognition. So if he does that, I think he could make some noise here. So I've got him at two. And the Ohio State player that I've got winning this is Caleb Downs, the safety. I mean, the guy is incredible. He truly is. It hurts me to say, but he's amazing. He's amazing back there in the safety position. So that's who I've got winning this.
Yeah. Nice. For me, I actually have the same exact three guys, but luckily, for content's sake, I have a different order. But yeah, coming in at three, that's where I have Caleb Downs. Stats weren't too crazy last year. 48 tackles, pretty impressive for a safety. Only 2 picks. But word on the street is they're avoiding this guy at all costs. And this year, he's rumored to be playing a little bit of everywhere. So the Ohio State's going to get him involved. They're going to put him in a position to make plays. But yeah, a freak talent. So definitely has a shot at this award, but I have him coming in at three. Number two, this is where I have TJ Parker. You said it well. A lot of sacks last year, a chance to improve that. He's got a defensive tackle, Peter Woods, who's also very disruptive, demands double teams, all of that. So could free him up, get some one-on-ones. But yeah, with what we saw last year, and assuming he's only grown given his youth, he could make a big splash this year. And working in the ACC, that definitely helps a little bit too. Little bit weaker of a conference. But yeah, could see him popping off. So I got him at 2, and that means number 1. Yep, this is where I have Anthony Hill Jr. You just look at those stats last year. You said it, 113 tackles, 8 sacks, 16 and a half tackles for loss. This guy is a weapon. He plays everywhere. He can rush. He can play off ball. Moves really well. Incredibly strong for how well he moves. This guy's going to be a top prospect. And yeah, with stats like that, if he even just replicates that again, I mean, they're so damn good. He's got a great shot at winning this award.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, that's funny. Same three guys.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
great.
It's such a
Yeah,
big pool to pull from, but yeah.
I
I
know.
mean, all 3 studs. We're definitely not
They
insane.
are. No, we're not. We're not. And I will say Parker Woods. That's Peter Woods, excuse me. The Clemson interior lineman. I'm convoluting names at this point, but he would have been my number 4 on this list. So that's
Yeah,
funny that you mentioned him as well.
yeah,
He was
but
my
that
tough
tandem,
cut.
that
Yeah,
you're just scratching each other's back at that point. But yeah,
100%.
Clemson always pretty good for a good D lineman. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, like I said, weaker conference play, you can juice the stats up a little bit. But yeah, I expect big things from Clemson this year.
I agree. I agree. So let's move on to the Heisman. Um, so for me, I'm going to start with some honorable mentions. I have 3 finalists and I have 3 honorable mentions. I'm going to start with my honorable mentions. I've got
Okay.
Dante Moore, quarterback of Oregon. I think he's going to come in, take Dylan Gabriel's spot, and he's going to do a really, really great job on this super high octane offense. I think what holds him back from making it into the finalists is that, like I predicted, I think Oregon finishes behind both Ohio State and Penn State in the Big Ten. I think it's hard to go and win a Heisman, bar being a media darling named Travis Hunter last year. Still
Oh, you got us
salty about
started.
that.
You did
Yes,
this.
yeah, still salty about that. So I've got him as an honorable mention. I've got Nussmeier because I think LSU will be improved. Like I said, I
Yeah.
think I had them at 3 in the SEC, maybe 4,
4.
4.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think he'll be up there on the list. And then I've got Cade Klubnik, Clemson's quarterback. You just said there, I expect big things from Clemson. Paul, you said you expect big things. I agree, and I think I've got him coming in at a very close to making the finals, but I think he'll come up just short to a couple of SEC and Big Ten guys, which leads me to my number 3 in the Heisman predictions. It's where I've got Jeremiah Smith coming in. Guy's a true sophomore, so the fact that he's even on this list is insane.
He's
He
amazing.
he could very well win it. I'm just going to say that right now as I describe him at number 3. But I'm a little worried about, what does the quarterback produce? What does that quarterback situation bring? He's still going to put up numbers in college against some of those, lower Big Ten teams and even some of the good ones. But can he do it consistently game after game after game after game to win a Heisman? Not sure quite yet, but I still got him coming in at 3. He is excellent at the wide receiver position. Um, Number 2 for me, that's where I got Drew Aller. If my prediction holds true and, they go ahead and finish number 1 in the Big Ten, that means Drew Aller had to have a very good year. They had to beat Ohio State when they play them. So I
Yep.
think that means not only does he continue to have really good games in against the lower competition, that means he had some really good games against the better competition. And I think that will happen. So I've got him coming in at number 2 here. Um, Heisman winner, Arch Manning. He's in a really, really, really great situation. Texas is a very high octane team, great defense, great offense. They saw what we could do with Quinn Ewers, who really wasn't all that great last year, but they go ahead and finish first in the SEC in the regular season, just to fall to Georgia in the conference championship. But put Arch Manning in there, and if he is at all what we expect, we already saw him play a little bit last year when Quinn was out, and he looked pretty good. You know, add another year of experience, time. I think he's just gonna have a really great year, and I've got him coming out on top of the Heisman because you can't forget, as I mentioned, Heisman is also a bit of a popularity award. He's got the last
Yep.
name Manning. All right, that's gonna
Gonna
help.
help.
It's just the reality of the situation. It
Yeah.
really is. So,
Yeah.
hand it off to you.
I could see it. All right. So yeah, I wrote six guys down too. So we'll say honorable mentions for the bottom three here. Coming at six, I have a running back, Jeremiah Love. Think Notre Dame's going to feed this man. Lost their quarterback last year. Don't really know what's going on at that position. I know this guy's a workhorse. I mean, he literally is one of the best highlights I've ever seen from a running back. Had those injuries, so I mean, that being said, the highlight was post injury, so I'd say he's back. He's got the goods. So I got him coming in at six. Coming in at number five, I have Ryan Williams, another freaky, talented young receiver coming out of Alabama. He's a stud, man. I don't think he's quite Jeremiah Smith, but yeah, he's close. He's freaky talented. Definitely the two best receivers in college football. And even going back to last year, you could say that, which is crazy because they were both freshmen. Um, but yeah, I got him coming in at number five. Number four, this is where I have Nussmeier. You said it, coming back to LSU. I mean, this is like year three for him in the system. Um, Stats were like very similar to Jaden Daniels the year before he won Heisman. Obviously, you're not going to get that running from Nussmeier, but throwing the ball, just developing, things are looking good. So I think he can make a splash this year. So got him at four. Coming in at three, this is where I have Arch Manning. Yeah, you said it. I mean, has a good shot to win it. I mean, the popularity and, like you said, just really in a really nice system. He's going to have everything he needs, and I mean that's just a perk of playing for a juggernaut team such as Texas. But yeah, got him coming in at three. I think he will fall a little bit short. Two, this is where I have Cade Klubnik for Clemson. Saw some good things last year. Think he's going to excel. Like I said, I really think Clemson's going to be back to the Trevor Lawrence days of Clemson this year. I think they're just going to be a force. So got him coming in at two, which means number one, another non-quarterback winner. This is where I have Jeremiah Smith, and he's just so damn good, man. I think he's got a good shot to win it all. Um, yeah, regardless of what's going on at quarterback for Ohio State, he's gonna have the numbers, and boy is he fun to watch. And as we said, popularity plays a role here too, and he has all of that going for him. Um, and yeah, to win in your sophomore year as a non-quarterback, that'd be pretty special, and I'm here for it. Even though Ohio State wouldn't love it too much, but I really like this player.
I would hate it. Just gonna throw that out there. I really like your Ryan Williams shout. To be honest, I think the reason I've got Jeremiah Smith on there, not Ryan Williams, is I rate Jeremiah Smith a little bit higher, and I'm a little
Yep,
more worried about the Alabama quarterback situation than I am the Ohio
I am
State
too.
quarterback situation.
Yeah,
So that's I think why I left
that
him off my list. I think one question I want to ask you is if you got Penn State finishing two in the Big Ten. I'm kind of where would he fall? Like how far out of these honorable mentions on your list is Drew Allar then? Like how far is he?
Oh, he's definitely close. I think he's gonna have a phenomenal year. Honestly, I could take him for Jeremiah Love at six. I mean, I those were two names I was batting around in my head. I expect Penn State to be phenomenal this year. Um, as we already kind of said, I don't necessarily expect them to get over the Ohio State hump, but they're going to be phenomenal. They're going to be a top five team in college football this year. So yeah, if you're the quarterback of said team and the leader of said team, yeah, you're gonna be good. But yeah, I think he definitely has a shot to get votes and, break top five for sure.
That's very that's very fair. Can you remind me, does Heisman voting happen before or after conference championship games? I think it's after, right?
I think yeah, it's after
Yeah,
conference championship, but yeah, they try and get it done before bowls and
before.
playoffs and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's what I thought. So I'll put
Yeah.
this out there. If Penn State does not win the actual Big Ten championship, I don't even think Drew Aller will be on this list because it'll be one of those, like we mentioned, popularity things. It'll just be people will think same story again, type of situation. If he goes
Yeah.
and wins the Big Ten championship, that's where I see him coming in at 1 or 2. But I
Yeah.
don't hate that you don't have him on this list, considering you have him at 2, Ohio State finishing above. If that is the case, I don't really expect him to get a ton of consideration for the award. And that is totally possible. The Ohio State hump is a damn big
Yeah.
hump.
The other
So
thing is
there's,
like I feel like he's overlooked as far as is he the vocal point of Penn State? Like I think a lot of people think about your running back tandem and we mentioned the struggles at wide receiver. Like he doesn't he's not in as good a spot as some of these other quarterbacks we mentioned. In fact, the three I have on here instead of him I think are all in a better situation to put up numbers and all that. But yeah, as far as getting the job done, getting wins, he's as good as them. And yeah, if people would worry more about that, which is really what matters, not so much the stats, but your impact on the team and are you getting the job done? Are you producing dubs? Yeah, I totally think he can crack this list. But in an era where I think people are just so stat driven, I don't know if he's going to have the numbers to prove it. But like you said, with popularity being such a factor, if they can get over the hump, win that conference championship game, this that could be big for him.
yeah, I'll be so honest. I was kind of waning on the Heisman Award past few years. Last year broke me. It absolutely broke me.
Yeah,
So like
it was tragic.
I care even less about this, but like last year really broke me because first off Travis Hunter winning, but then also we went over that one episode where we had guys voting for people not named Travis Hunter or Ashton Jonty to win the award, and I still
Hmm.
maintain my position quite a few months later, a lot of time to cool down. They should never be allowed to vote again, ever.
Yeah,
Like
for
ever.
real.
Uh,
Well, some
but
people are just so quarterback, quarterback, quarterback.
I
Like
know, I know.
it's crazy. And oftentimes the best player in college football is not a quarterback.
Uh-huh.
Like it's happened many years. Like even LSU guy with scabs here, but Tyrann Mathieu, like he should have freaking won that award. He was unbelievable. What he was doing on special teams and on defense, it was amazing. And with
Yeah,
his recent retirement from the NFL, I've been watching them stats, and it just breaks my heart because I mean that
yeah,
would have been so cool. And as we know, defenders don't typically win the award. That is one thing I'm somewhat happy about with last year. That's just like the little plus I took from it. But yeah, I mean, we know how we feel, or everyone knows how we feel. John T should have got that award, but that
yeah,
is one thing I like, and that's kind of why I'm rolling with Jeremiah Smith here too. Like, I like this. Like, let's keep it away from quarterback, 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 because I feel like we just get stuck in a lull, and then you're just your quarterback, quarterback every year, and yeah, I like that that chain was broken. But yeah, I think Jeremiah Smith is probably the best player in college football.
yeah.
Like, I
I,
don't care that he's a sophomore.
yeah, and I don't disagree. I went with Archman because I really do expect him to be quite good. And to your point,
Yeah.
Heisman by definition is the best player in college football. It's not the most valuable player. There is no MVP trophy in college
Yes.
football, which is
Yes.
why it
Thank
makes
you. That's
sense
a
in the
good distinction.
NFL that the MVP is a lot of times a quarterback. Because value, yeah, it just simply put, it is a quarterback. But there's a reason in college there's the Heisman for the best overall player, and they break it down and give a trophy for every position too. There is no most valuable player. It is the Heisman. It is the best player. So I totally agree with your take there. Um, but yeah, let's move on to our playoff predictions. I'll hand it off to you, but I want to let
Okay.
the audience know here about quick rule change for the playoffs this year that was voted in by the playoff committee, and that is you know, a lot similar. The top 5 conference winners will get a spot, and the next 7 highest ranked teams will fill out the 12-team field. The big difference being this year is that it will not be the top 4 conference winners that get a bye in the first round. It will be the top 4 overall ranked teams will get a bye in the first round. So that should save us a little bit of a Boise State situation like we had last year. So I
Right.
like that change. I like that change a
I like
lot.
it too.
But with that, Chris, please take it away.
Okay. So I'm going to start with just reading my seeds. We'll just go 12 through 1, and then we'll break down the matchups and We'll just run right through this puppy. So at 12, that is where I have Boise State coming in. Um, this is my, non-major conference winner. Got them coming in at 12. Tough to kind of not go with them. I kind of wanted to go for something weird here, but yeah, I mean, I feel like they're just one of the few teams not in like the big four that are pretty special. So got them coming in at 12. 11, that is where I have Kansas State coming in. 10, I have Ole Miss. 9, I have LSU. 8, I have Georgia. SEC, baby. It's getting
I was
SEC
gonna
heavy.
say, jeez.
Um, 7, that is where I have Oregon. 6, I have Notre Dame. 5, I have Utah. 4, I have Penn State. 3, I have Texas. 2, I have Ohio State. And 1, I have Clemson. So
Okay,
let's run through this. So the 12 seed Boise State is going to take on the 5 seed Utah. I have Utah winning that matchup. Let's go 11 versus 6. We got Kansas State, Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame winning that matchup. Let's do 10 versus 7, Ole Miss versus Oregon. I have Ole Miss with an upset there, them beating Oregon. Then we got 9 versus 8, LSU versus Georgia. I went with LSU. It will probably be wrong. I just had to. My twin
fair.
brother, Georgia fan, major rivalry in this household, had to go with it. Might bite me in the ass. But boy, would it be nice. That is where the bar is for LSU right now. Like, I want a playoff appearance in this 12-team format, and I want one win. I'm happy with that.
Fair
And for it
enough.
to come against Georgia, that would be amazing. But yeah, that's what I have here. So then after that, we get the 9 seed LSU versus the 1 seed Clemson. I have Clemson winning that. Now, week 1 this year, we have LSU Clemson playing. I'm really hoping with this setup I have here, LSU can break their week 1 loss to a non conference team tradition.
No.
I do not want to get swept by a team in college football 0 for 2. That stings. I've lived it. It's horrible. I hate it. So please, LSU, win one of these two, preferably the playoff one. But yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath because you have to get past Georgia in this hypothetical. So
That's
yeah, I
true.
have Clemson taking that. Um, so then we got, let's go to the 10 seed, the upset. Ole Miss is now going to play number 2 seed Ohio State. I don't have them getting past them. I don't see them beating Oregon and Ohio State. That would be, amazing. But yeah, don't see it happening. We got Ohio State going on. So then we have, let's go 4 seed Penn State versus 5 seed Utah. I could really see this one going either way just because Penn State just they still scare me in
Big
big games,
games.
and
Yeah.
Utah always a solid team. I really like the way they play, especially in big games. I mean, we've seen some crazy Rose Bowl matchups with Utah, really pushing it to the limit. But I do have Penn State moving on. I think they're different this year. I think they are different.
The
So,
biggest thing that scares me in big games, just sorry to cut you off there, is still
oh, you're
James
good.
Franklin is the motherfucking head coach of that team still.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
big game James, baby.
yeah. Let's
Big
fake a
game
field goal.
James.
Fuck it. I'll never forget
Yeah.
it.
God damn it.
Unreal. Anyways,
Yep.
so then we have 3 seed Texas taking on 6 seed Notre Dame. I have Texas moving on here. So now we're down to 4. We got 1 seed Clemson, 4 seed Penn State, 2 seed Ohio State, 3 seed Texas. So all upsets are gone. I have my top 4 teams here facing off. So let's start with the 2 versus 3, Ohio State versus Texas. I have Texas winning this one. Um, 1 seed Clemson versus 4 seed Penn State. I have Clemson winning this one. We have a Clemson versus Texas championship, and Clemson is going to take it home. I think they're back. I'm fully buying in.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind what you got here. I think it's all pretty reasonable. Not even upset by Penn State being maybe ousted by Utah in the second round because I'll be damned, they totally could be. As I said, big game James,
Yeah,
man.
which I did go with Penn State, but I
You
did want to
did.
mention it's
Yeah,
a
no,
scary matchup.
it's totally fair. It's totally fair. Um, so I guess we'll go to me now. Um, Run through mine. At 12, I've also got Boise State as the fifth non-Big Four conference winner of the Mountain West. Seems, gosh, I there's not a lot of chalk in college football, but this one feels kind of chalky. Uh, just Boise State's consistently a very good. Maybe I'm like trying to jinx them right now so that something fun does happen. Just gonna throw that
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there.
sure.
But yeah,
Do
like
it.
please, yeah,
No hate against Boise State, but yeah,
yeah,
let's spice this up.
yeah. Switch it up. Um, 11. That's where I have LSU coming in.
Nice.
12.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, they still make it. They still make it. 10 is where I have Miami coming in. I don't expect them to be
Okay.
nearly as good as last year, but I think they're going to squeak into the playoffs. So but I
Yeah.
could be
Honestly,
totally
before you
wrong
keep
on this.
going, very close to putting them in instead of what was my weirdo?
Kansas
I don't even
State?
remember. Kansas State. Yeah. Very close to doing that. But yeah, I not a huge Beck fan. I don't think he's gonna hurt
Yeah.
them. He's got a lot of experience, but yeah, just I don't know. I'm
I
not
th- I th- I
not
just
buying in there.
I just feel like he could have not quite as good. He was terrible at Georgia last year, but going to the
Really rough.
ACC against much weaker defenses, they're just going to let him air it out. I think
Yeah.
they'll do enough to squeak in to the playoffs. So wait and see if I think they'll do
Very
anything in the
fair.
playoffs, but I think they'll squeak in. Um, Number 9, this is where I have Bama coming in. Um, 8, this is where I have Oregon slotting in. 7. This was an interesting one. Baylor Bears. I'm picking them to win the
Hey.
Big 12 this year, actually.
Okay.
They started rough last year, 2-4, won the last 6, on an upswing, and I think they keep that up. So we'll see. But I got
I like
Baylor
that
coming in at
pick. They got
7.
a great
Yeah.
coach. I mean, they have Matt Rule, I think, which, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, phenomenal. Everywhere the guy goes, he turns teams around. I think you might be on to something here. Get it on the upswing, get it get it before it happens. Because yeah, the
Exactly.
longer he stays somewhere in college football, the better the team gets. So I like
100%.
that a lot.
Number 6, this is where I've got Notre Dame, the conference list guys.
Yeah,
Wanted to say something
bastards.
so much. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say, but I was trying to refrain. But conferenceless
I
bastards.
got you.
Thank you. Like, get in a freaking conference, dude. Because you know what really pisses me off? Sorry to pause, little vent on the side here a little bit, but
All
the
good.
college football playoff committee, that I voted it mentioned voting on the changes for this year. It's the 10 major conference, leaders plus Notre Dame's director of athletics. Are we serious? Are we
Yeah,
freaking
what the
kidding me?
hell?
And it's like that in all places of college football. It's one person from all the conferences to represent 10 plus some, in the SEC
Yep.
16, Big 10 18 teams, and then Notre Dame, because they refuse to join a conference, actually gets representation. Are we for real? Makes me so angry. Force
Yeah, it's
them to go into a
ridiculous.
conference. Honestly, seriously. What are you afraid of, Notre Dame? What are you afraid of? Um, Anyways, back to my list. I just really wanted to rant about that.
I'm glad you did. I didn't
Yeah,
even know about that. That's insane.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. 5, Georgia. 4, Ohio State. 3, Clemson as the ACC champ. 2, Penn State as the Big Ten champ. And 1, Texas as the SEC champ. So I guess we'll then go down to my bracket here. We will start with the um 12v5 game. Boise going up against Georgia. Sorry, Boise State. I think Georgia's going to take this one fairly easily. Um, yeah,
You'd
that
think.
brings me to the 11v6 game, LSU v Notre Dame, and
Come
I
on.
have LSU winning this one.
Let's
I
go,
actually
dude.
do. Yeah,
I was
so
gonna say this is a nice
yeah,
matchup.
not a
I
bad
could see
matchup.
it.
Yes, if they were unlucky and came up against one of the other good teams just based on rankings, but I think coming up against Notre Dame, I really think that they've got a shot.
Yeah, it's
I've got
favorable.
them taking it. Um, so then we've got Baylor against Miami, the 10-7 game, and I've got Baylor actually taking this one and winning a college football playoff game. Takes us to the 9-8 game, Oregon Alabama. I think that Oregon will take this one. I think that Alabama's quarterback questions will really show when it comes to playoff time, and Oregon's just got such a high-powered offense. I think they'll take this one. I think it'll be a close game though. I think this will
They're
probably
gonna miss
be
Saban.
yes. I think this will probably be the best first round college football playoff game, assuming this is how it panned out.
Yeah,
Obviously, a lot is subject to change.
as
Um,
it should be. Gotta love an 8 versus 9.
exactly. That's very true. So let's wrap back around to Ohio State then playing Georgia, the 4v5 there. Got Ohio State taking that one. Hurts me, but just what I think's going to happen there.
Yeah.
Um, then we've got LSU Clemson. This is where I think LSU's tirade ends. I've got them losing
We both
to
got it,
Clemson
man. We
here.
both got
Yep.
it.
So
Terrible.
there's that.
What about week 1? You have them losing that too?
Are you kidding me? There's way too much history that supports LSU losing
Yeah, I
that one,
know.
man.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. Can we
Yeah.
get the boys ready, please?
Come on, Chip Kelly ain't gonna do shit, bro. Brian Kelly, excuse me.
Or Bride.
Yeah.
Yo.
I know, right? Yeah.
Hate that guy too. What are you
Yeah.
doing to me here?
I know. I know.
It literally went over my head for a second, and I was like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
fun little Freudian
I
slip.
hate that guy
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. Gosh. Okay, Baylor PSU. I've got PSU taking that game. And then Oregon Texas. I've got Texas taking that. So that leaves us with a final four, exactly the same as yours of Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, and Clemson. So that's
Yeah,
exciting.
that's cool.
Um, so I've got Texas playing Ohio State, which is also what you have. Um, no, sorry. Texas playing Ohio State. That's what I've got here. I'm just blind. I've got Texas winning that. Um, and I think they make the finals where I think Ohio State's run ends. And then Penn State, Clemson. I've actually got Penn State taking that game and making the championship game against Texas.
Ooh, heartbreak.
Unfortunately, this is where I've got Penn State losing, and I have
Yeah.
Texas winning the college football playoff this year. So, you know, great run from the boys. I don't think I could be upset by a final appearance, but I'd want to be, considering we should have made it last year and decided to blow that shit against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So that
Yep.
game was horrible. That was a true big game, James. Uh, Game right there, as well as Drew probably threw the worst pass of his collegiate career when he threw that late pick. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know what was
was.
going through his mind. That one was, I mean, it's indefensible if people want to come at Drew for that. I've honestly got nothing to say in his defense. It was just
Oh yeah.
bad.
Which
But yeah.
again, if you look back at our episodes, you gave him shit for that. Lots of
Oh,
it.
yes. Oh, yes. Um, but yeah, I mean, you got anything to say about my playoff rankings there? I honestly, I kind
No,
of
I
like what you
really
got.
like it.
Yeah.
And I like your wild pick in Baylor. Um, and I don't mind you having winning a game either because, as I said, I'm not really a Miami believer, so I don't mind that at all. I love your LSU dub. I imagine it's safe to say I have your actual rooting interest in that game as well, uh,
Yes,
given Notre
for sure.
Dame's, you know, last year. But yeah, and probably forever. I mean, you either hate them or
Yeah.
you love them. So,
That's so true. Mm-hmm. I
but
think it's
yeah,
fun
I
we got
love
the
your
same
list. I
Final
like it a
Four.
lot.
Yeah, that's
Same
exciting.
Final Four, yeah, different
Yeah.
order, and different way it shakes out. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
could totally see these things happening, man. I like it a lot. I like that you have Bama in too. I was obviously debating them. I mean, it's freaking Alabama, but
Yeah.
yeah, as I said earlier, I really like how you brought up their defense. I think it's going to carry them a lot of this year. I'm not sure how well it's going to do in playoffs, which you kind of also mentioned with them having a first round exit to Oregon. Um, but yeah, very solid. I like it a lot. Good list.
Also, I wasn't crazy earlier, and we do have the same Final Four matchups, but my 1-4 matchup is your 2-3, and vice versa. So I wasn't going quite insane, but I want to clear that
Okay,
up.
yeah. I
Yeah,
nodded my head. I'm like, yeah, I think you're right.
yeah. No,
But
so
I didn't
it's
flip the page,
it's
and
fine.
yeah,
Mind is moving too fast, man. What can I say? Um, but
yeah,
yeah, that's
yep.
that's
You just
super
have Penn
exciting.
State beating Clemson.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep. That's faith in the boys, but I've got them losing to Texas, which is it's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Surprised
Which
me.
it's cool. We both really bought in on Clemson because I didn't know if they'd recover. Like it was
Yeah.
quite the skid there. That was like a solid 3, 4 years of not being relevant.
No, I think it's
They
it's
got in
time for
last
them to come
year,
back.
which yeah, and they got in playoffs last year, which I know I was, but I'm pretty sure you were also against. Like we
Hmm.
weren't really fans of it. Um, but yeah, I think they're relevant again. We mentioned the studs on the D line. We think they're going to get good quarterback play. They're always a hot spot for recruiting. All we can do is hope they lose week one, right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right?
Oh no. Um, but that's kind of funny. I actually give the chip back to an SEC team as well, and you've got to go into an ACC
I keep
team,
it
which I think
away.
is a little
Yeah, I keep it
interesting.
away.
Yeah. So
I do too.
yeah,
But yeah,
but that's
Texas
fun.
certainly has a good shot at doing it. Um, but yeah, just I mean Manning had a little bit of experience last year, but not that much. But
Hmm.
as we said, the team's so strong around them. I could certainly see them making a deep run. I have them making it to the damn game.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know if they'll close the deal. I mean, we know Dabu's been there a million times. It means nothing to him. I think we'll have the squad ready. Texas hasn't really been here, not in a long time. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. But with that, that wraps yet another episode of Palm City Chucks. It was really great to be talking college football
College is
again.
back.
Like I said, we got week 0 coming back in like 3.5 weeks. Super exciting. Got the Hall of Fame game coming up. Lions get to, you know, playing that against the Chargers, which honestly I'm a little bit concerned about
Yeah.
because that field in Canton is not good. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Please, gods, let the
Don't
injury
throw
bug
that
stay
out
away.
there.
I said let the
I'm
injury bug
knocking
stay
wood.
away.
Find wood.
I
Find
have wood
wood.
right in
What
front of
is
me, so
this?
don't worry about it.
Uh,
But then
I'm worried about it. It's not even my squad. What are we doing? You
I
don't
mean, we
say
already
things
lost
like
Levi on Wazirikre to a freaking knee injury, man, in training camp. So it's really great.
so it
Anyways,
begins.
thank you all for joining in. We appreciate you all. Please like, subscribe, comment. And right now, next week, our topic's kind of open. We've got it written down as a wild card. So if you listen in and you have
Yeah.
thoughts on what you want us to talk about, college, NFL, let us know. Let us know.
Yeah.
But we will be back next week either way. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
The PCC.